This is KGW News at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Drew Carney, and we start the newscast today with an update to the breaking news we had yesterday at this time. Molalla police identifying the man they say shot at officers with a rifle on Monday morning. According to investigators, the shooting happened right around 11 a.m. near Leroy Avenue and Main Street. Officers were responding to a medical call there. That's when they say Brian Mills, dressed in body armor, started shooting at them. The officers shot back, and two nearby schools in Molalla went into lockdown. Meanwhile, in North Portland, the Kenton neighborhood is calling for change after a wave of recent crime there. Business owners and neighbors got together to write letters to city leaders. KGW's Mike Benner has more on this new approach to make their neighborhood safer.
Salvage Works has been a part of the Kenton neighborhood for more than a decade. General Manager Rachel Browning says the area has changed a lot.
Our female staff were threatened by men with weapons 3 Saturdays in a row.
And by no means are those isolated incidents. In the last month or so, bartenders at the Kenton Club were robbed at gunpoint twice, and somebody was shot and killed at Kenton Park, not far from Parkside Restaurant and Bar.
It's just all very shocking and a little traumatizing for sure.
Parkside owner Angela Connell opened her doors Monday night to give the community space to write letters to city leaders. They're asking for a citywide expansion of Portland's street response, not to mention funding for new lighting and cameras, among other things.
We've just been trying to figure out how we can, as a community, come together and take action and be here to support one another.
So we are asking the city to give us emergency funds.
The 3-hour event was well attended by business owners and neighbors alike.
I am here to represent my community and try to get some changes made here.
So too is Rachel Browning of Salvage Works. She says she's never felt as unsafe in Kenton as she does now, and that needs to change.
Small businesses are suffering already from the pandemic, including our business, including bars and coffee shops and restaurants, and this doesn't help.
In addition to that letter writing at the Parkside Restaurant and Bar, some of the proceeds from the sale of food and drinks will be going to Neighbors Helping Neighbors, an organization that works with the houseless community. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
One of the things the Kenton neighborhood wants the city to do is expand the city's street response program, and that could actually happen by the early part of next year. So instead of police, this program sends a crisis counselor and a paramedic to calls involving mental health and addiction. Portland City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty says she'll ask City Council to expand the program during its budget adjustment later this month. Portland Street Response launched earlier this year, but only in the Lentz neighborhood of Southeast Portland. So now, Commissioner Hardesty wants City Council to guarantee the funding, which is just over $1 million, to take the street response program citywide by March of next year.
We are asking for a commitment because we've certainly heard it all over the city, whether it's from business owners, whether it's from houseless community members. We've heard all over the city that every community wants Portland Street Response.
Do you think this will pass?
Well, you have to ask my colleagues about that. Am I confident in the data that we will present? Absolutely.
So we did reach out to Hardesty's colleagues, and Commissioners Dan Ryan, Carmen Rubio, and Mingus Mapps all say they will vote for a citywide expansion. Mayor Wheeler says he also is taking a closer look right now at Commissioner Hardesty's proposal. Portland Street Response may have been able to help the business owner in this next story, who says he had to wait almost 2 hours for police to show up after he called 911. Sniff Dog Hotel in Northwest Portland made the call one day last week. The owner is Corey Murray. He says when he arrived at work that day, he found a man outside his business physically threatening employees and customers. Everyone was able to get inside and lock the door, and that's when Murray says he called 911 not just once, but twice. And he says he had to wait 1 hour and 45 minutes before an officer got there. By that time, the man who was causing the trouble was long gone.
This felt like a situation to you where it should have been somebody come.
Well, that's kind of what the expectation is, what I expect, as a taxpayer in the city, is that you call for an emergency, you get immediate response.
Murray says he understands police are short-staffed right now, and he doesn't blame them. But he wants City Hall to find solutions to homelessness and crime and act on those solutions. The mayor's office tells us it is looking into Murray's case. Well, one of the stories making local and national headlines over the last week involves the Portland Thorns. Supporters of the team are calling for change after two former players, Mana Shim and Sinead Farley, accused their former coach of abusing them. Both of those women played under former coach Paul Riley when they were with the team 6 years ago. Shim and Farley accused their former coach of sexual harassment. In fact, Shim says what happened to her still impacts her today.
I carry it with me every day. And in some ways, this has made it lighter and also darker and lonelier at times. It was so damaging. It took away my career. I was never the same player after this happened to me.
Moving forward, the Thorns say the team will take action to protect players, more action than they're currently taking. They'll have a confidential reporting system for players, which they actually hope to have in place by the end of the week. The Thorns are also adding an online form for fans to submit feedback. And the team is cooperating with FIFA and U.S. soccer investigations. Riley, by the way, denies the allegations against him. One more story before we get to Rod Hill's forecast. We're talking about fire season right here. Wildfire season is now over for a few more fire districts in Oregon. They include Lane, Benton, Lincoln, and Polk counties, and the southern parts of Lynn and Yamhill counties. The Northwest and North Cascade region, which covers the majority of the metro area, called an end to their fire season last Friday, but fire season is still in effect for the rest of the state. In fact, there are still 17 active fires in Oregon, and in Washington, the Schneider Springs fire is still burning in the central part of the state.